Hello and welcome to our Season 12 debut episode of Wildcat Week. I'm Randall King sitting in for Roger Alcock. We are excited to be back with you for another year of covering Wildcat athletics. And up first this week is the men's soccer team. On Tuesday night, they faced off against the Marion Knights, who are sitting in last place in the Crossroads League. The Wildcats scored first when Glauber Oliveira put in a goal off a corner kick in the 34th minute. Nico Matern made it 2-0 in the second half with his second goal of the season, and the Wildcats held that lead until the 84th minute when Marion's Jonathan Kopp spoiled the shutout. It was a 2-1 victory for the Wildcats, taking them to 3-2-1 in the Crossroads League. And looking back now to Saturday, October 14th, the Wildcats hosted the Bethel Pilots, with IWU going into that match with only one win in league play. The Wildcats kept the pressure on early with several shots on goal before Sammy Conti finally put one in the back of the net in the 37th minute. Then in the second half, IWU's leading scorer, Glauber Oliveira, again scored in the 71st minute to put the Wildcats up 2-0. And that was the final score for the match, giving the Wildcats the 2-0 win over the Bethel Pilots. They're the goal there. IWU wins 2-0. A nice score that you like. And joining us now to talk about these past games and to look forward to what is next is men's soccer head coach Luke Sanford. And welcome, Coach, and always fun to end with that highlight there.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
So we're going to look at those highlights in just a moment, but let's start with the Bethel game that we saw.
Yeah.
And what did you see in that? What are you seeing at this point in the season?
Well, it's been an interesting season for us, but in that game specifically, was pleased with a shutout for sure. Bethel's a team that scores a lot of goals, and so that was a focus of ours in training leading up to the game, was to be solid defensively. And then, Sammy and Glauber both stepped up with big goals for us, so proud of those guys as well.
You scheduled some very tough opponents out of conference early in the season. Are you seeing that pay off as you come down the stretch here in the Crossroads League?
Yeah, we are. I think kind of a phrase that we use a lot is approach every game the same. And by that we mean you don't necessarily take one game's a big game, then one that would then imply that the next game's not a big game, and you want to respect all your opponents. And so for us, it was important to put ourselves to test early, and we felt really good about the way we played in games. We just haven't been able to put together full matches and have had some lapses, and against the teams we've been playing, we've been punished for it.
Well, let's take a look at some of those highlights from Tuesday's game against the Marion Knights, our most recent game.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what you're seeing here. Struggles early in games, or do you like the competition they're bringing, the pressure they're bringing early?
Yeah, we've started games really well. Starting the games has not been an issue for us. We've had trouble closing out halves and closing out games, but felt like we really were pretty quality early in this game. Had a really good speed of play and were moving the ball really well.
See the nice
yeah, I
opportunity
mean,
there.
great ball there from Carlos Chacon, a really good header by Douglas Oliveira, and actually a great save by the goalkeeper, and Glauber's where he's supposed to be on corner kicks and taps it in.
Is that what you're seeing from your set plays coming off the kicks and things?
Yeah, we train that a lot, to be honest with you. We've been a little disappointed in not producing many points off of set plays, so it's something you train, and we've been pretty good defensively off of them, but glad to score a goal off of it as well. So you can see us defending one here. Obviously, the ball goes out of bounds, but we're set there to defend, and every person's challenge is what's important.
Back now here on the offensive end, what do you see here?
Yeah, again, Carlos trying to thread something through. He's a player when he gets wide, he can run at you 1-versus-1. But I think actually what you're going to see here is a good cover by Douglas, and Drew Glover has played really well as we moved him into the back. Ciro Castro was probably our best player last year, has been out all season with a broken collarbone. So Drew Glover, usually defensive midfielders had to move him to the back, and he's done really, really well. Just covering.
Tough shot on goal there. Did you want to see some more exchanges there before he takes the shot?
Yeah, Gabe probably shot that a little early, but he's also an ambitious player, and he trains that specific shot a lot, and so fine with him giving it a go every now and then. But yeah, I would probably like to see us build up a little bit better. Again, you can see good defensive play here, good line held by Drew and Douglas drawing Marion's forward offsides. They were patient and let the guy run offsides and knew that's what would get called. Good cover there by Nico, good recovery to get behind the ball and slow them down. Felt like our defending was really good. Again, disappointed to give up a late goal. But I thought that we had everything covered. We were able to get into anything that got in behind us, we were able to take care of, and thought that we were pretty clean in our build-up too. So it felt like we combined well. It's on turf, so it's an interesting thing in especially college soccer to have to change the surfaces you play on. Blessed, obviously, to be able to train on turf now at the football stadium, which is really nice. So that's been helpful, but it's still a big change for us going from the grass we play on
faster,
to much faster. Yeah, much
harder,
faster.
harder bounces.
Yeah, it doesn't bounce true. Sometimes some unpredictable bounces just with the spin on the ball being exaggerated off the turf. And so
second half action now.
Yeah, I thought we started out the half really well. We made a couple of changes about 15 minutes into the half and really started to open them up and to possess the ball well, and you'll see that coming here. Good patient play, good rotation on the ball here to find Nico on the backside of the midfield. That was just something we talked about a lot with him. And Nico is a pretty special player. I think one of the best players, if not the best player in the league. And
all by himself there.
Yeah, I think Nico, honestly, is probably one of the better players in the NAI. Just has had a couple of injuries he's had to get through. He's a tough kid and actually a fantastic guy. We're really glad to have him here with us. This is their game. Drew gets sucked a little high there for a center back. You don't want him biting on a checking runner too early. Then good one-on-one play there by their attacker and an easy finish. Again, would rather have won 2-0, but thankfully Nico had given us sort of an insurance goal. And then Douglas Oliveira, a little 4A forward for the center back. You don't see that too often, but actually a pretty good shot and save there.
Keeping up the pressure on them. So a lot of good action. Nice to see some love for the defense there. Sometimes in television we have a lot of offensive highlights, but man, the defense is keeping you in these things.
It is, yeah. They've really stepped up as of late, and Douglas Oliveira and Drew Glover have been really good as our center backs.
What do you see looking forward? You're into mid-October, actually closing in on the end of October. You're starting to think postseason. Where do you feel like you are now?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 conference games left. We would love to get 3 results and put ourselves in the top 2 or 3 in the conference. We have the chance to finish that high after some results last night. So, but we have to take it one game at a time. And with our conference, to get to the national tournament, you have to win the conference tournament. It's just the way it is. And so it all comes down to that. So for us, it's about getting to the conference tournament healthy and with some momentum on our side.
What do we have scheduling coming up in the next couple of weeks that you're keen on?
Yeah, we're away at Taylor this Saturday, and then our last home game of the regular season is Goshen next Wednesday. Would love to see fans out at that. It'll be senior night, and then we're away at St. Francis the following Saturday, and then conference tournament starts on Wednesday.
And do you feel like the Crossroads League is really pretty well matched these days when it comes to soccer play?
This is my 3rd season. I think this is the most parity I've seen in the league, just by even last night, Goshen, who's second in the conference, tied Taylor, who's next to last in the conference. You just see those types of games a lot, to be honest with you. And Goshen had beaten Spring Arbor, who's the top team in the conference last week. So, I mean, there's a lot of parity. Every game's a battle. Every team knows each other really well. The coaches know each other well at this point. And so you just have to be prepared to find ways to win in every game in conference.
It's great to talk about competitive soccer in the month of October. I know it's good for you.
Absolutely.
Head coach Luke Sanford, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks so much.
Next up for the Wildcats is a cross-county rivalry match, as Coach said, with the Taylor University Trojans on Saturday the 21st in Upland. That game starts at 7 p.m. Well, when we come back, it's women's soccer coach, head coach Tim Strader, join us to break down the highlights from their latest match. Stay with us. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. The women's soccer team had their game on Saturday, October 14th, suspended after the first half of play due to lightning. The Wildcats were up 2-0, but will have to start that game all over, and it has been rescheduled. The game will now be played on Monday, October 23rd at 5 o'clock, back at Bethel College in Mishawaka, Indiana. The women didn't have any trouble from the weather on Wednesday night, but they did suffer a tough loss to the Marion Knights when they gave up 2 late goals in the last 5 minutes of the game after 85 minutes of scoreless play. That final score was 2-0 off of Marion goals by Maria Farmer and Courtney Denny, both assisted by Kelly Kavanaugh. And joining me now is the women's soccer head coach, Tim Strader, to help us understand that tough loss. Always tough to kind of go on the road and then what happens?
Absolutely. Marion's a fantastic side. They're number 15 in the country, and they were actually undefeated at home in that game, 10-0. And so we knew we were going into a tough confines at Marion.
Where do you see yourself right now as you sit here in October 20th, roughly?
Oh, absolutely. We are thrilled with where we're at right now. We are receiving votes. We're number 27 in the country. and couldn't be happier. 9-2-2, and we're just making progress as a program, just focused on the next opportunity to go play, which we're excited. We're young. We didn't have a single senior on the field last night this year, so we're doing well.
Yeah, and Crossroads League action, you're in the thick of it now?
Absolutely.
Competitive?
Yes, we are right about the middle of the table, but we actually have a game in hand, as you mentioned, about the Bethel rainout, or the flood of October, if we will. Had a lot of sitting water in the field, and so unfortunately with a lightning delay, we were up 2 goals, but we'll go back up there on Monday to replay that match.
And hopefully it'll be drier. Well, let's
Yes.
let's take a look at some of the highlights from your game against the Marion Knights. Break it down for us here early in the match. What are you seeing?
Sure. Alexis Garcia looking for a diagonal ball. We knew that their back line was going to over-rotate a bit, and so we were trying to catch them on the flanks and run at their outside backs. They were really looking to overload our outside right back, seeing lots of numbers, which our junior, Megan Love, she did a fantastic job of just denying stuff, making things very difficult for them. Marion saw a lot of the ball. They're a very, very talented team. But we were very organized, very disciplined in the way we defended last night. Unfortunately, the last 5 minutes, we couldn't hold on. But credit to Marion, job well done.
One of the characteristics of your team has been their offensive firepower, and obviously that didn't happen there. Anything that Marion was doing that really shut you guys down?
We've actually been getting a couple kids back from injuries that have been significant contributors. And so we just got our NCAA All-American sophomore back last night in her first match, and she's been out about 2 weeks. So you can tell her fitness wasn't quite where we'd like for it to be. But we definitely, actually probably had some of the best opportunities of the match as we were looking to catch them on counters. Here, Lexus plays a great ball into Tia, just runs a little bit long to the keeper. But we end up getting a 1v1 opportunity with their keeper a little bit later in the match with Liv getting in. Tia had a great ball in. Again, you can see us looking to stretch them and get down the flank with Lexus. But credit to their back line, they did a really good job last night of limiting our opportunities.
Highlights don't tell us the whole story because we're compressing things, but their shots on goal, did they possess the ball a lot more than you would have liked?
They definitely possessed it. These were the opportunities that we were looking for last night. We knew they were going to be a talented team. We get in, we knew we could break the game open with just 1 goal. And so this one comes back in from Lex, and it drops here to Liv, who nearly scores the winner right there about the last 10 minutes of the match. So we were just looking for that one chance. That's all we needed, especially with our attacking players.
Do you give them credit? I saw the breakaway a few moments ago, their player getting down there. Do you credit their speed and their defensive plan, or do you just say really just offensively you're still trying to get back?
We're really just trying to get back to where we were prior to the injuries, which on that one play there, they ended up countering us for the 2 goals last night. Second one, we were just trying to throw numbers forward and equalize, and they caught us on another counter. But we love our forwards. I mean, they are fantastic. They are probably the 3 most dynamic forwards as a whole in our conference. And we return a lot of goals, and all 3 of them are 2 sophomores and a junior.
What would you say you learned from this game on the road? Offensively frustrated, but still a tough league opponent that's maybe setting you up for something down the road.
Absolutely. Anytime we can go into a top 15 game in the country, you're going to learn something. And so our younger players are just gaining rapid experience about what it's going to take to go in those environments and compete. And especially our conference, we've got 5 ranked teams in the top 25 and top 30 in the country. So you know every conference game is going to be a battle.
This has been a theme of this show, and a lot of times we talk about is just you see this Crossroads League. We've seen it in basketball. We're seeing it in other sports now. Mm-hmm. The competitiveness, has that surprised you coming into this system to see so many? Now you said 5 ranked teams.
Not at all. We've got Spring Arbor, who's number 2 in the country. Marion's 15. Us, Taylor, and Mount Vernon all receiving votes, and several teams just outside the top 25 as well. And so it's great to see the Crossroads League doing well. We love it. We believe that we are a 2-bid team, that we can get in that large team.
And so what's next? Walk us through that. I know you're just next game, but same thing as with the men. You've got to win the league tournament to get.
We have a little bit of a chance. if we can get to maybe our semifinals to get in at large, based on the quality and the depth of our league, and we've got some good results to get some other top teams in the country. So we have a little bit of wiggle room there. So we're excited. We've got 4 games left. We have a tough week next week with a Monday makeup match, a Wednesday, and a Saturday. So 3 matches in a week is going to be a little heavy on the legs.
Well, you play the best that makes you better.
Yes, sir. That's the plan.
Well, thanks, Coach Strader, for giving us some great action, and good luck to your ladies.
Thank you.
When we come back, volleyball was back in Lucky Arena after 2 weeks away. Coach Candace Moats will join us in the studio, so stick around. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. The volleyball team hosted the Cougars of St. Francis University in Lucky Arena on October 18th. The Wildcats, who are tied for first place in the Crossroads League, and they were given a challenge against the Cougars, who are tied for 5th place in the conference. The Wildcats got off to a slow start, but senior Tay Thomas was there to lead the team in kills, adding on to her team high. Freshman Katie Cole makes a smart placement of the ball to help the Wildcats win the second set. And Megan Graber had 6 blocks on the night to lead the team and make an impact all the way throughout. The Wildcats came alive at the end, held the Cougars to 10 points in the last set. IW ended up taking the match 3-1 after dropping the first 19-25. They came back and won the next 3 sets, 25-20, 25-22, and 25-10. Meanwhile, the volleyball team played up in Goshen on Saturday the 14th and had a similar result, but just a little different order. The Wildcats started the first set trading points back and forth with the Maple Leafs. At the end of the set, IW went on a 6-1 run to take the set 25-21. Second set was even closer, with the Wildcats forcing Goshen to have to score 26 to win it, and that score 26-24. But from there on out, the Wildcats took control, helped out by Tay Thomas, tying her record for most kills that she set earlier this year against Goshen. IW won the match 3-1 with scores 25-21, 24-26, 25-12, and 25-10. And as we mentioned, senior Tay Thomas tied her career high of 18 kills and had 3 block assists. Freshman Katie Cole had 30 assists, 15 digs, and 1 ace. And senior Banner Rogers had 16 digs and 3 aces. So lots of volleyball action to talk about, and joining me now is head coach Candace Moats, who is happy about where they are, tied for first in the Crossroads League. You've had a lot of wins and you've had some struggles in the last couple of weeks. Give me your assessment of looking now, not quite ahead to postseason, but it's there.
Yeah, this is a story of us this year. We lost 7 people last year that were the primary players on our team. They were fantastic. And we got 5 freshmen on the court. And the story is you've got to teach them throughout the match. And then when they finally get it, then they play at this level that you see at the end of every match, where you see big point differences, because they finally understand what they have to do to counter what the opponent is doing.
Every coach has a story like this. Do you find you work harder when you're rebuilding and teaching like that?
Oh, my word. I'm exhausted after a match. I honestly am. I just want to sit and just kind of like do nothing, for a while. I don't want to talk to anyone, because it's just exhausting watching and preparing every single person for every scenario.
But then you have the joy of actually seeing them blossom.
Yes, they're athletic.
Even though you're exhausted. Well, let's take a look at some of those highlights from Wednesday's game against the Cougars, and just tell us what you're seeing here early.
Well, like right away, we prepared for that middle attack, because that's kind of their signature move. And right away, we couldn't get it. We couldn't stop it.
You got the block there.
Now, Tay Thomas, let me just tell you, Tay and Morgan Miller are by far stars of this season. They are the ones that keep us going. They are the ones that make the big plays when we need it, the big hits. Tay is just really has become fantastic, probably the best player in the league right now. It's really fun.
Good movement there.
Yeah, she's smart. Tay is super smart, and she just knows exactly what she needs to do to get around the block and to use the block, and that little freshman right there, she's little, but she's dynamic, and she can go after the ball, and that's really fun. Megan Graber, she's really fun. And Katie Cole there, the freshman setter, We've had to just really, learn a lot of things.
Nice touch there on your front line.
Yeah.
It's not always about power.
We got the 3 Miller sisters on the court, and we got the little Miller, the middle Miller, and then the senior Miller. And they are really got a great chemistry together. They coach each other while they're all out there. The senior coaches the freshmen, and Marcy has done a really good job, the younger one, the freshman. She's done a really good job of trying to learn from her sisters.
I've noticed communication when I've seen the matches live. Communication is a big thing. We don't always catch it on TV, but your players are always talking to each other.
Yeah. It really is a game of communication because, you've got to have one touch has to create the second touch and the third touch. And to make sure everybody knows their roles, you have to really talk about it and what you're doing. So they do a good job of that.
Nice action there. It looks like you're getting good balance in some of your younger players stepping up when they need to.
Yeah, that was a great shot by Tay. She just understands where the defenders are on the court, and then that sharp shot, she saw that defender moved clear back into behind the 10-foot line, and so she made that sharp shot, and she's just a smart player. The girls really look up to her, and especially the freshmen.
And I would imagine that when you get to the college level, everybody can play power, but not everybody can play smart.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's about placement.
And there was another great shot by Kelly Miller, the middle Miller. She had been working on that a lot, where you go up, and it's called nonlinear shot, where you go in and you're running in, it looks like you're going straight ahead, and then you do an off nonlinear shot, and it goes to the corner, and it's super effective because everybody flows with the game, and they see where the ball is going, and they all go opposite. So to get those kids to be smart like that is really a bonus for us all.
Your volleys there, and then the response of your front line. So we have come to expect these Lady Wildcats to be in the postseason. We've probably taken it for granted. You as the coach say it doesn't happen easy, but where do you see yourself? I know you're always about the next match, but you've got to be thinking, and they've got to be thinking, Crossroads League, and then what's next?
Well, here's the cool thing that happened. Okay, so Marion and us were tied with 1 loss each. We beat them, and then we lost to the Taylor night. Well, then we had a little hiccup against Bethel. Well, so they were solely leading last night. They had a hiccup against Grace. They got beat 3-0. So now, this Friday, tomorrow, is the championship match. So we're going there, unfortunately, but it is the championship match. We both have 2 losses. We're 13-2, each of us, and we're going to go into that night, and it's literally going to be the championship match.
So let's give that date, because some people are watching this show and they don't know which Friday, because the show airs for a week. We're talking about Friday the 20th.
Friday the 20th.
Friday the 20th.
Yep, Friday the 20th.
And that will be at Marion University.
Last night opened the door for us. All our girls are so excited.
So I know some people will see this show and they may want to know that that you can drive down to Indianapolis and see really a championship level match. So that's even more important at this point than what happens with the postseason tournament.
Yeah, we're for sure going to secure second if we would lose to Marion. Marion and us are going to get first and second because the next person in line is 4 games back. So we're going to win first and second, which is really valuable because you get your home court. So you get your home court first round, second round, and then whoever wins tomorrow night is going to get the championship match.
How do you prepare these younger players for kind of the culture that you've created of expecting to be in the postseason, and then kind of getting their character through these rough matches? You've had so many early wins, so many dominating performances, and then you get it kind of here in the league play and you have these hiccups. What do you do the next thing mentally to get them ready for that? Yeah,
the biggest thing is try to take the pressure away, because that is really what mounts constantly. And I see it every year, there's an expectation. And even the upperclassmen, I have 6 seniors and I have 7 freshmen. Okay, so that's the disparity on this team. And so the freshmen want to play great for the seniors, but the seniors are really doing their best job to try to just chill everybody, because they play better if they're not all, in their heads and trying to perform at this level that, is expected of them. Just to have fun and keep them going, and then just to be smart, there's an expectation of bringing volleyball IQ into every match.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing it. Some of those matches probably on television, but good luck to you. We know to Friday night, the 20th, will be a big game
Yeah.
in so many ways.
It's going to be
and
fun.
We'll keep an eye on that. Thanks, Coach Candace Moats, for all of that. It is good to be back this fall, and we have more sports season getting ready to start up and a lot more coverage as some fall sports start to see the end of their season, and then the winter and spring sports are looking at the starting dates for theirs. So that's all we have for you today on this episode of Wildcat Week. Lots more to come in the weeks to come. If you'd like to see more of Wildcat Week, you can visit our website. That's wiwutv.com to see past episodes and be able to connect with us online. Again, wiwutv.com. And you can stay connected with all of our local programming by subscribing to our YouTube channel. That's WIWU-TV51. And we do look forward to seeing you more next week. For all of us here and for Roger Alcock, thanks for watching, everyone, on Wildcat Week.